Picture this. It's 6:30 a.m. You wake up, you get ready for another daunting day of responsibilities, and off you go. However, today is different. It's your birthday, and you're feeling special. Well, too bad, because your boss is already mad. You're 30 minutes late. You just got a surprise exam because your professor is going through his second divorce. You do what you can, but sadly, today just ain't that special anymore. And it's just like any other day. It's 6 p.m. now. You're home. Nobody said anything about your birthday. You're sad, tired, depressed. But wait, there's something. A ray of light shines through the tunnel. You open your favorite game and...
お誕生日おめでとうございます、先生。お誕生日おめでとうございます、ご主人様。ハッピーバースデー、ご主人様。お誕生日おめでとうございます、先生。お誕生日おめでとう、先生。
Now, if you've clicked on this video, you already most likely know what a gacha game is. But to the people who don't, let's see the definition of a gacha game. A gacha game is a type of video game, often a mobile game, that utilizes a gacha mechanic similar to a loot box, where players spend in-game or real-world currency to receive random virtual items. These items can include characters, weapons, equipment, or other in-game assets. The core appeal is the chance-based acquisition of these items with varying degrees of rarity and usefulness. See, on the surface, this sounds fun and interesting, something that you can kill time with for a few minutes every other day, but no. Let me tell you the real definition of a gacha game. First, they get you with the art style, the animations, the character designs, the voice acting, and then you realize you play 7 different gacha games, love at least 27 different waifus, and have spent your entire life savings because you need Kafka to tell you you're a good boy, or Aventurine to wink at you and take you on a date. You need Cinderella's outfit so she can smile and tell you you're the best commander ever. You need to have Miyabi's signature gear so you can trivialize the entire game because she is literally your wife. And you need Changli's swimsuit outfit because it's summer and it's hot and wuthering waves. Hey Alice, do you think I might have a problem? And yeah, this is the real definition of a gacha game. Every gacha game is not only beautiful characters, fun gameplay, intriguing story and sublime music, it's multiple systems that tickle your brain into playing more and more and log in every single day. They use refillable energy so you can't play non-stop unless you spend your money, login calendars for rewards, daily missions, limited time story events, limited banners, to get you your new waifu or husbando, or you have to wait 508 days for Eula's rerun because that's just how it is sometimes, collaborations with your favorite IPs, and more. Gacha games have basically capitalized virtually every single genre of video games, and if you want an open world experience you can just play Wuthering Waves or Genshin Impact. If you want turn-based combat you can always hop on Honkai Star Rail or Epic 7. If you want some fast-paced action you can go into Zenless Zone Zero or Punishing Grey Raven. If you want some deck building you can go into Reverse 1999. And if you want kind of an idle game but not really, you always have Nikke. And for some tower defense you have Arc Knights. But again, they all share the same core systems to keep you logging in daily. You play the game to earn in-game currency to pull your desired character, then build said character to become stronger, clear harder content. Of course, if you spend money, you can build your characters faster, so you effectively pay to play less, and in gacha games this is normal. And the most important thing about gacha games is that they are basically forever games, if the studios can suck enough of your hard-earned money, that is, so they can safely sustain the game. You can never fully beat a gacha game because most gacha games operate on a set schedule to release new content and characters constantly, so you can never run out of things to do. Now that you actually know what gacha games are, let's look into how they progressed over the years, how they took over the gaming industry to become a multi-billion-dollar business, and why gamers are starting to burn out on them and even quit entirely. Time for a quick lesson in history. Gashapon, also called a gachapon, is a kind of vending machine dispense capsule toy manufactured and sold by Bandai. It originated in the 1960s and is very popular in Japan. The word gashapon is a Bandai trademark and is a combination of two sounds, the gasha for the hand cracking action of a toy vending machine and a pon for the toy capsule landing in the collection tray. Gashapon is used for both the machines themselves and the toys obtained from them. Video game companies and developers saw this and said,
"Hello, I like money."
and you will see why very shortly. From what I found through my impressive investigation skills, the first popular gacha game is Dragon Collection. Dragon Collection is a social game developed by Konami and released in 2010 and was a significant revenue driver for the company's digital entertainment division, particularly in 2012. While the game itself doesn't have current financial data available publicly, the success of Dragon Collection and similar social games like Sengoku Collection propelled Konami's social game revenue to 15.8 billion yen to 36.7 billion yen in a single year, which equals to $109 million to $254 million. Other companies saw this success and went, yo, we're developing gacha games now. I do want to point out that you can say that MapleStory or FIFA were the first to popularize gacha mechanics in video games to great success, but they aren't gacha games in their core, and that's why I'm going with Dragon Collection. When I was a teen in the 2010s, games like Summoner's War and Clash Royale and others were insanely popular, and back then I didn't even realize they are gacha games. Trust me when I tell you, everyone in school was playing Clash Royale and we would get extremely hyped if someone pulled a legendary unit. Both Summoner's War and Clash Royale are still played today and are very successful games and continue receiving regular updates and collaborations with different IPs. Another huge franchise that I want to mention is Fate Grand Order, which released in 2015. It's not a game that I've played, but I can't not put it into this video because it's still going insanely strong even today and is always one of the top games by revenue monthly. More and more high quality games started coming out like Honkai Impact 3rd, Azure Lane, Epic 7, Arc Knights, and players got hooked. Companies bathed in money, but at that time, nobody knew what was coming in the very near future that changed the gacha game industry forever. It's September 28th, 2020. Most of the world population is at home because that's what we did during that time, we all know why. And MiHoYo, now HoYoverse, released their biggest opening success to date. If you don't know what Genshin Impact is, it's a free-to-play open-world action RPG. The game is set in the fantasy world of Teyvat, where players explore, battle monsters, complete quests, and unravel the story of their lost sibling. It features a unique combat system with elemental magic and character switching, and a gacha system for acquiring new characters and signature weapons. I don't think I can emphasize enough on how massive Genshin Impact was to the gacha side of video games. It completely changed how people view gacha games since the world was completely open. You can go wherever you like, whenever you like, without spending energy like any other game, and experience the open world completely free. You still have that same refillable energy that is used to farm for items and character growth, but the world itself was yours to conquer. The release of Genshin Impact was a success most companies could only ever dream of because Genshin Impact generates close to 400 million in the first 2 months, averaging more than $6 million per day. Now with HoYo's newfound success, Genshin Impact literally started taking over the world, real-life collaborations, people going to events, stealing Genshin cutouts, social media exploded with Genshin content, and what did HoYo do to capitalize on Genshin's success? Well, they did what any other smart company would do, and they invested in their next big project. Honkai Star Rail released on April 26, 2023, and it's vastly different from Genshin Impact. It's a sci-fi turn-based combat game without an open world, but it still has zones that you can explore a bit, complete puzzles and get some rewards. What HoYo did with Star Rail was very smart. A lot of the in-game grinding is automatically played and it requires way less time to spend in-game to make decent progress on your character builds. While in Genshin you have to manually play everything. In Star Rail, you can farm a lot of the content by queuing up to 6 battles, and the game plays itself, you spend your energy and go on about your day. Hoyo wanted to get even more players. People that didn't enjoy Genshin could potentially like Star Rail since it's not that big of a time sink, and to nobody's surprise, Star Rail was another huge success with earning 500 million in mobile revenue, which is nearly on par with Genshin Impact in the first 3 months. Other companies, seeing the mind-blowing success of Genshin Impact and Star Rail, wanted to replicate it, and some did successfully, like Wuthering Waves by Kuro Games that released on May 23rd, 2024, which is my personal favorite gacha game. Let this not fool you though, a lot of others failed miserably even if they had success initially. They couldn't keep the attention of players since they were already way too invested in Genshin or Star Rail. Tower of Fantasy is a great example of this. I won't go into too much detail, but the game's first few months were amazing. Player numbers and revenue were very healthy, but today the game is essentially dead compared to others. And with this example we are reaching what I like to call the stagnation phase.
Easy money.
As I said, with Hoyo's brutal success, many companies started releasing their own games which were essentially replicas of Genshin or Star Rail, but almost all of them were just worse in every way. Either the gameplay didn't feel right, the story was bad, the character designs were soulless, the systems were unrewarding, no endgame content to keep you engaged, and so on and so forth. Another problem that came with this is every single gacha game started copying each other. You were essentially playing the same game with a different paint job. The core systems, UI, store, even currency prices and bundles were pretty much the same. If you're a gacha player, you already know what I'm talking about, but here are a few examples. Every game came down to this. You beat the tutorial, you get a free character because you unlock the gacha system, and usually the first character is always free, and then you just start grinding. Every game nowadays has these core grind types. You clear a number of quick battles in a dungeon or an arena to get gear and enhancement materials to level up your character and their abilities. You clear a boss multiple times to get enhancement materials to unlock the next level cap of your characters. You clear content that resets weekly that usually rewards you with currency that you use to pull the next characters. And you clear your daily missions. With most big gacha games sitting on their success, companies have become complacent and don't feel any need to innovate. Every gacha game feels the same with very slight differences, and even some character designs are basically reskins. But they already got us. We've invested money into these games and it feels bad to quit even if we're not enjoying it anymore. However, the question is, for how long will this last?
I'm tired, boss.
Personally, for some time now, I've definitely lost interest in these games. Right now, the only gacha game I actually enjoy playing and I play at least once a week is Wuthering Waves. Sometimes I do hop on nikke if they have a cool collaboration that I'm interested in, like the most recently Stellar Blade collab and the Nier Automata rerun, but other than that, I've quit playing Genshin, Star Rail, and I rarely ever play Zenless Zone Zero anymore. I do want to point out that I have hundreds of hours in all of these games, but I've just become burnt out after playing them for so long. It's exhausting having to juggle multiple games every single day just to get every single free reward so you don't miss out on anything. And I reached a point where I just stopped caring because I realized I wasn't playing them for enjoyment anymore. I was playing them because it was just a habit. I'm not even including the other tens of gacha games I've tried during the past 3 to 4 years that just couldn't grab my attention for more than a week or two. Seeing how many gacha games are set to release in the near future and seeing multiple trailers of different gacha games in every game showcase made me even more disinterested in the medium as a whole. How many is too many? I want you to ask yourself, how many times have you seen a trailer recently and thought, hey, that game looks kind of interesting? Then you see it's a gacha game and immediately lose any interest that you've ever had. Here's a list of a lot of upcoming gacha games made by the user on Reddit, Uni-chan's Neko. The sheer amount of games is absolutely insane, and a lot of people are becoming very selective in what games they really want to invest their time and money in, especially in this economy. What motivated me to make this video is seeing other friends that I've met through gacha games quit every gacha game they've ever played, social media posts on how players are tired and want to quit, and I definitely relate to that, and I have felt the same for a long time. So yeah, it's definitely not only me, and I do believe that there is a gacha game burnout. For my closing thoughts, I don't think gacha games are going anywhere and are here to stay, but it definitely seems like even with the growing number of games, the player base has seen a plateau. If you still like playing different gacha games daily, I am happy for you. What I'm hoping to see though is a new groundbreaking game that will captivate me and other players with actually fresh innovative ideas, gameplay and unique character designs, and the way characters are built is entirely different from the same systems that we've already seen a million times. I've been KissShot. If you enjoyed the video, please do consider subscribing, leave a like, let me know what you think in the comments, and I do hope to see you again next time.